special guest today. Before we begin, let me introduce myself. I'm Captain Preetham Madhukar, founder of Skills Beyond Education, a high performance coach for entrepreneurs, executives, students, athletes, and also an author of the book Three Culprits: Laziness, Fear, and Doubt. There's this book here, and you can know more about it on Amazon. And today I have a very interesting guest with me, Rupa Patil, who's an international business mentor, trainer, author, speaker, and she's also the founder of a 10-year-old company called Weekend Nuts in Bangalore. I'm very curious to know more. And she's a certified mastermind professional. And one of her strengths is lead generation, especially if you're a business owner, how to accelerate your income. And there's more about it, a lot of insights today from Rupa, and I'm very excited to learn and share this with you. Thank you, Rupa, for being here.
Thank you very much for inviting me today, Captain. It's an honor always to interact with you.
Thank you so much. And just to get the ball rolling, you have done all this amazing work that you're continuing to do in building a lot of heart-centered leaders and business owners. So you keep talking about this heart-centered entrepreneurs and leaders. If you could share a little bit what you mean by that.
Sure. In fact, the reason I was looking down is because there is an entire beautiful manifesto. So, this is a beautiful manifesto, and I see that it's a mirror image. But this is a manifesto, and these are a few things that we heart centered leaders or entrepreneurs live by. But before I could even talk about manifesto, just to answer your question, in if I were to answer it, let's say even just in three short sentences, I
Mm,
would say that heart centered leaders are the ones who are driven not just by income,
mm,
but also by creating impact. So we pay equal importance to both income and impact. That's first. Second is heart centered entrepreneurs and heart centered leaders, not just in businesses, but even in corporate lives. Heart centered leaders aren't afraid in supporting each other, uplifting each other. That to me is a heart centered leader. And anybody who is listening to it, if you do that, if you support each other, if you aren't afraid of, uplifting others, hey, you are a heart centered leader. And third, of course, is people who are also learners. We are humble enough to accept that we aren't perfect. We are humble enough to accept that every single day it's an opportunity to become a better version of myself. And people who do that, to say the least, are to me heart centered leaders. And of course, there is this beautiful manifesto which is available for download once they join my Heart Leaders group, which is on Facebook. Some time ago, you were asking, where am I most active?
Yeah, I think I'm going to share Rupa's website link here now.
Thank
And
you, Captain.
you can know a lot more about Rupa and the amazing work that she's doing in building heart centered leaders, helping entrepreneurs. And I've interacted with Rupa previously as well, through a mastermind. And it was amazing to interact with her group and to exchange these thoughts and ideas. And before we continue, I'd like to thank all the viewers who are listening in live or probably the recorded later.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking time out and being here with us, for asking your questions. And whatever questions you have, you can post in the chat box. It will appear for us and we'll be happy to take. This is an episode, especially if you're a startup entrepreneur who wants to grow organically, who wants to build your leads, build your income, create more impact. Then this is absolutely going to be a brilliant session today with Rupa and getting all these insights from her. So Rupa, what is it that sometimes stops people from stepping up to be an entrepreneur, to start up? And people keep thinking, hey, I want to start up, I want to do this, but they hold back.
From dreaming to doing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. All of us have those dreams, but few act on it. Yeah.
Right. That's an interesting question because that is what I was battling exactly around 10 years ago while I was still in a beautiful full-time job with amazing company, amazing leaders, fantastic team. I was loving my job, but right from my college time, I always wanted to start a business. And this question really takes me back to that 10 years ago.
Mm.
And ultimately, what I realized, not just for me, but for so many of us, what stops us from taking that leap of faith from, a full-time job or learning to full-time entrepreneurship, it just boils down to one word, one four-letter word, and that is fear. Now you can call it as self-limiting beliefs, you can call it as, mindset, but ultimately it is that fear, something that we aren't sure what will happen. We aren't it's just that four-lettered word which stops us from doing our best, from being our best, and therefore for getting the best in life that we truly deserve. Just that four-letter word. That's my take on it. What do you feel?
Superb. I mean, absolutely. I mean, fear is so at the core of our being. And in my book, Three Culprits, I share three culprits being
Mm,
laziness, fear, and doubt. And how fear is so primal. It has its place and it helps us.
yeah,
So we don't do the wrong things
and
and we
stupid
don't
things.
harm ourselves. But today, it can it can become our its own roadblock,
So
beyond a certain thing, and that's what is happening around, because we don't have those kind of issues what we face, say probably 500 years back, 1,000 years, even 100
mm,
years back, and it's a different kind, and our fear stops us. And I think you captured it brilliantly when you said about fear being the four-letter word which actually stops entrepreneurship or people doing whatever that they are dreaming to do. It comes to my next question about how can they take that next step then, how can they shift from going on a full-time job or anything else
mm,
that they're doing to taking that
mm,
first leap to entrepreneurship, maybe as a part-time or full-time. What are your thoughts?
hmm. So, thank you for asking that question. And to me, I would tie it back to the previous question. If fear is what stops us from taking that leap, ultimately, what we are seeking is a safe haven. We are seeking a path which is guaranteed not to fail. I mean, success comes later. I start chasing success once I become comfortable with the fact that, yes, I am on that path, I am walking on that path. But once you make up your mind, anybody who is, listening to this, once you make up your mind that yes, entrepreneurship is a path that you would like to go, and still it's not going to be a switch. Overnight you're not going to be suddenly brave enough. It's not going to happen. Even today, the best of the entrepreneurs do face fears. So if that is what is holding us back, then the only way forward is a kind of a guarantee that yes, this thing will work, and that we can't figure out by ourselves because that is an uncharted territory. And while we are walking on that path, we need somebody to hold our hands and help us walk on that unknown path into the unknown territory of entrepreneurship, almost assuring success. And that to me would be the most obvious next step. And so, I mean, although it is so obvious, Captain, but it is not something which is as commonly adopted. And I'm talking, of course, about mentors. Hire a mentor, a guide, a coach, advisor, you call whatever, but go to somebody who has been there, done that, who knows you very well, or who knows people who are in your shoes at this point of time very well, so that they can help you overcome your fear. And not just that, but help you get onto that path, start doing things what you need to do, what you have to do, even if you don't like it, and then you do it consistently. And who better than a mentor to help you get there? So that's my take.
Absolutely. I mean, It reminds me that at every turn in our life we get this fear, and it doesn't matter, like how you mentioned, that at what stage of entrepreneurship journey you are,
Yeah.
that stage would be difficult in that, like, like probably for Elon Musk it would be like, should I launch the rocket or not, should I wait for something, the fear, am I going to blow up this company or blow up millions and billions? But for somebody else it could be a different kind of fear, what should I even launch this product or service, should I
Mm.
even get into this business, and probably for the one who's just stepping in is, am I giving up a cushiony job and starting something else?
Yeah.
Fear can be at every stage. If you think that, okay, I've overcome fear and it's all over, then there is a new one, bigger one, waiting to uh, waiting for you to overcome. So
Mm.
superb. And like to ask you another thing is about, like, okay, let's say somebody decided they want to take up this leap, they're kind of in a place where they're overcoming their fear and wanting to take up, what skill sets would you advise them that they develop, or at least focus, maybe top three skill sets that you would advise?
Great question again, and thanks for asking that question. I would say any business, even if it is a social, enterprise, but at the end of the day, cash flow matters.
Mm,
If it is a for-profit business, it comes from making the profits. If it is a not-for-profit, the still cash flow matters because here we are now relying on sponsorships and aids and funding.
mm,
So at the end of the day, we as entrepreneurs, and the funny part is not just entrepreneurs, even this is applicable to people who are seeking job, people who are seeking promotions.
mm,
What one skill set that will never go waste is the marketing and sales. I'm separating the two. So the two skill set that are absolutely priceless, not just as an entrepreneur, but also as a parent. I am constantly negotiating with my 10-year-old son. So I think to me, marketing and sales are two skill set that anyone who is an aspiring entrepreneur or who is an early stage entrepreneur, these are two skill set that one has to constantly upskill. And for that, there are, again, there are minimum three ways in which you can do it. And of course, our listeners are smart enough to know that. All I'm doing is just reminding them that there are three ways in which you can upskill yourself on sales and marketing, to say the least. And one, of course, is self study or self learning. And there are plenty of avenues to do that. An avenue like this, tuning into a talk show like this itself can be a learning opportunity. So one is self learning. Second is guided learning. Again, a trainer, a coach, a mentor, a guide, somebody who has been there, done that, trainer. So that's second. And third is being in a continuous learning environment. Now, this is a third thing that most of the people are not doing, and most of them are not even aware of. So the reason that they are not doing is because they are not aware of this can be yet another learning opportunity, not just learning opportunity, but actually an environment which will push me to constantly move forward. And that is the power of community or mastermind. So once again, to recap, marketing and sales, absolutely priceless skills. And the way to do that is three ways. One is self learning, guided learning, and masterminds or communities.
brilliant. I think you captured it, brilliantly well, especially the masterminding part, the community part. It is so important that, something that I advise for my own clients as well, that being having someone accountable, of course, the coach and the mentor or a very close buddy, provided they can dedicate that kind of time and focus,
Mhm.
is one very powerful way, but obviously they can't give that time all through, right? So then the next stage of evolution is coming into this community where the peer group, everybody who's thinking along, is moving forward. And I think it comes back to that saying, the kind of people you're surrounded with,
Yeah.
five people, your network, or 10 people, whatever you want to call it. It's they are the ones who you're going to become like, or you're going to get the most from them, build their kind of mindset. So when you have a community and you're hanging around them, even if it's online, and you're talking to them, they're inspiring you, they're giving you ideas, they're sharing their tips and tricks, their failures, and how they overcame something. And when you're in that kind of powerful communities, that's when you grow the most, and you learn from each other the most. I think that's a great way of, where people is something that they would neglect. I think you captured that something that they don't think of it, how important it is beyond learning, to continuously learn. And these communities are, I think, brilliant. I think superb points. And just continuing on this same thing, especially for solopreneurs and entrepreneurs, what would you advise that they should also be careful about in their journey when they embark? I mean, you talked about marketing and sales. I completely uh, concur with that kind of thought, because at an early stage, without
Hmm.
mastering marketing and sales, it's going to be a struggle, because it's that the romance of the business will fade, and then you need to also create that impact and reach. So by marketing and sales, you're going to start uh, seeing that you're being valued, you're creating that impact. Now coming back to the other side, like, what should they also be careful about? They learn these skills, what
Hmm.
should they be careful about?
Hmm. So, one answer to that I would say is a very important one. And especially in the Indian startup landscape, today more than ever, this particular caution is more relevant. And
Mm,
that is, please do not burn cash.
mm,
And this advice may sound so stupidly simple, and yet it is so difficult to follow. And there are so many reasons why we can't do that, right? And by the way, this advice is for bootstrap businesses, it's for early stage entrepreneurs, it's for solopreneurs, and it is for funded companies. And of course, not just in India. So the reason I say is do not burn cash is, of course, for the obvious reason that, yeah, cash burning is never good. But what what inspires, or what do not really stops us from burning cash, is the stories that we tell to ourselves as business owners. For instance, this is one common thing that I hear from almost everybody, Captain, and this has been something that I have been hearing almost, I mean, I have got tired of listening to this, to be very honest, and that is why I do what I do. And that is, well, if I have to grow my cash flow, I need lead flow. And for my lead flow, the only way I can get it is by burning money or investing money in ads. Now, the fun part is this reason is given by even a new entrepreneur who has just launched a business and know nothing about advertisement. This person does not have outsourced the advertisement to an agency. Now this person is going to sit and figure out and do ads by themselves, and they're going to burn money, and you know what happens. 24% year on year, the ad budget or the ad costing is increasing year on year, 24%. And every year there are people who are dabbling with ads. And how do I know that? Because I have done that mistake as well, and this is a very common mistake. So we believe that to strengthen my cash flow, to have a high quality lead flow, I need to put money in advertisement. Now, I'm not against paid ads. People ask me, hey Rupa, you are talking so much about organic leads, don't you love ads? Are you against ads? And I say, no, I'm not against ads. If you have ad budget, great. If you have a fantastic advertisement team, fabulous. If you have an advertising agency who is knowledgeable, go ahead. That is the shortest way to get leads. You are right. But if you're bootstrap business, even before you could go to ad, I would say explore all the avenues of generating leads, high quality leads organically. That is one way of looking at it. Another way of looking at it is, of course, another avenue of burning cash is not just lead generation ads, which is, when you look at all the other avenues, this avenue seems to be better, that at
Mm.
least I'm putting money in ads. The other avenues or other, leaky areas are things like vanity. I need my logo to be designed by a professional agency. I need to have my office in the prime location. I need to have this. I need to have that. I need to have a professional photo shoot. Let me tell you this, Captain. From my own experience, I have been running this first business of mine for 10 years now. I have been running my second business for 4 years now. And I am still going with the absolute basics. And although after 10 years, you're no longer a startup, you're no longer an early stage entrepreneur, but you can continue thinking that way. So, if I were to give only one piece of advice for entrepreneurs, for business owners all across the globe at any stage of entrepreneurship or business, I would say please respect your cash flow. Do not burn your money. Do not burn your cash flow. So that will be my biggest advice. So control yourself, stay away from temptations. It's like that, right? When I'm trying to lose weight, and if I have, donuts or whatever my favorite croissants and things kept right in my view, I am going to get tempted. And temptation is going to get the better half of me, the best of me. So best is to stay away from temptation. Here is where that community of like-minded supportive individuals come in place. I can always run it by them that, hey, I'm thinking of putting my money on hiring the next uh, premier college pass out to run my company. To my next hire has to be from there. I can always run it by my mastermind group and they can advise, or my mentor. So this is where again it is so beautifully interlinked. So long story short, don't burn your cash.
Interesting. I mean, very interesting. I mean, I kind of like the thing about the vanity part sometimes, I've been there, done that, where a lot of time I can see, especially if it's your first business, a lot
Hmm.
of time can go in these kind of, spending money on things which are not really important at that stage, because nobody really cares about things like a logo and things like. And of course, it's not that it's not important, but it is, we as entrepreneurs, first time entrepreneurs, like I said, I've made those mistakes there.
Yeah.
And in my second business, I was able to avoid all the mistakes of my first one, not do that, spend unnecessarily and cash burn and all that stuff. But at the same time, sometimes cash burn is required. I won't say cash burn, more like a investment there
Investment.
on seeing which avenues are going to take you to
Hmm.
that next level. And sometimes I
Hmm.
ask my question that if I invest, will this take me? Is there more than half 50% chance of me crossing
Hmm.
the bridge? If the answer is no, then yes, it's a cash
No.
burn.
Yeah.
Do not
I
take that
agree.
leap. And if there is, then of course, weighing it with the community absolutely is brilliant. That's a nice thing of, passing the first test and then weighing it up, seeing that if I still need to take that, what are my fear, what is happening.
Hmm.
And but I like the idea that especially early stage, bootstrapped early stage, before there is proof of concept, or before that the product is something that people are looking for, and at
Hmm.
that stage, to get an organic community, or to build organic, can be a really really
Yeah.
brilliant way of generating leads. So, and this is obviously your core strength, something that you've been doing for quite some time, helping people generate good quality leads organically. So, diving into your expertise, and to get these insights to all our viewers, what would you advise on this journey of organic leads? How do they go about?
There are so many strategies, and of course, I always tell this in all my workshops, in my masterminds, in my trainings, in my speeches, I always say that, if you're doing marketing, if you're in marketing, essentially you're in testing. Think of yourself as a scientist, doing various experiments. And some experiments may fail, some experiments may succeed, some experiments may just, bring you an award.
Yes.
So that's going to happen. But so essentially, knowing that marketing is testing. And when it comes to organic lead generation, while you can try and test so many avenues of getting those organic high quality leads, personally, I have settled down on a couple of them. In fact, I would give, Captain, with your permission, can I give away four of my best strategies, which I call it as ATLM, Anytime
Super.
Lead Machine, for your
I
audience? Can I
think
do
I
that?
think that would be brilliant, absolutely brilliant, beyond what I could have asked for. I think you surprised me today, and
Yeah, I'm surprising. I didn't plan to just
I
have
was
it in
thinking,
front.
hoping I could get one good lead. It'll help me as well, and I'm sure it'll help a lot of viewers who are listening in. Would want to be part. And before you share, let me do something. Let me share the link where you have this free lead generation workshop, the 5-minute leads.
Yes.
And I've shared this link. If you're watching this, recorded or otherwise, please do click this link. Rupa is an international mentor who's an expert at lead generation, and she does some amazing workshops and masterminds and has built an awesome community. And this link will give you more insights. She's just going to share four, but once you join that workshop, you're going to get blown by the amazing insights she has on lead generation. So click this link away and do connect with her. So, Rupa, yes, we're all waiting for those nuggets to come.
Thank you very much for your generosity. And I need to pay it back right here, right now for your listeners. So, over and above that 5-minute leads workshop. So, the idea there is I basically teach proven strategies that me and my team and my mentees and the businesses whom I'm consulting, as a consultant, all of us, we are actually using those real life strategies. And for me, Captain, what is more important is to uncomplicate most of the aspects of marketing and sales to such an extent that if somebody has just launched a business, if somebody, like, one of my business mentees is a doctor, my second business mentee is a scientist, and they are incredible at their work. But
Mm.
now, just because they are running business, now if they are expected to learn this complex marketing and sales strategies, it's going to be a burden. So, as a good teacher, as a good mentor, what I have understood is if I'm able to uncomplicate those strategies, however complicated they may sound, but if I'm able to simplify these strategies and give it to them, served on a platter with the exact steps, with the exact blueprints, with the exact templates, it can save them a lot of time. Because here's the thing, we can't buy time. As Tony Robbins says, we can't buy time, but we can buy shortcuts. So, in the 5-minute leads workshop, the idea is all about giving shortcuts, and it's a free workshop. It is a zero sales workshop. There is no selling in that workshop. So, the idea is to give them strategies, the exact step by step processes to do, on social media, to do marketing on social media, so as to attract high quality leads in just 5 minutes. Because we know, as entrepreneurs, as leaders, we are very busy. We are also moms, we are also dads, we are also, family people. So there is only so much that we can do. So that workshop will help them. But coming back to the little gift, which I have not even, it's not a part of my workshop as well. So I'm just giving this to you, which I give only to my paid, business mentees.
Superb, superb.
So coming back to the strategy called as ATLM, or the full form stands for Anytime Lead Machine. So it's, imagine, you are running a business and you have this beautiful business card, your visiting card, and you are running short on leads.
Yeah.
Imagine if you could walk to the nearest ATM, dip in your visiting card, and get an avalanche of leads. How will that be for a business?
Yeah.
That is what I'm trying to create with this clarity around ATLM. So there are many strategies. I would give a couple of them right here, right now. Number one strategy is quite underestimated, and that is giving away something for free and going beyond lead magnets. Those of you who are like, established business owners, and you may say, okay, yeah, we have a lead magnet. Great, everybody has a lead magnet nowadays. But what is that you can do to go beyond your lead magnet, to continue to serve, to continue to cater to your target audience before they buy from you? And
Mm.
how can you do that consistently? This is an entire 1 hour workshop in itself, but I'm going to cut it down. So number one strategy is give away something of value for free before they buy and go beyond your lead magnet. So that's first strategy. Second strategy, one of my favorite strategy, is build your own tribe. I can tell you that 60% of my high quality leads and sales actually come through my own tribes, multiple tribes. But build your own tribe. That does not mean that, okay, I'm a business and I have a Facebook page. That's my tribe. No, that is not your tribe. That is your presence. That is not your tribe. So there is a beautiful crash course, rather a program that I have just on tribe building for those, especially subject matter experts, authors, speakers who are fantastic at doing what they do. This is a strategy in which I teach them, I learn, I actually work with them. We work together to build their tribe in 3 weeks, and that's it. So that's my number two strategy is build your own tribes. Number three is leverage joint ventures and collaborations. And Captain, I'm sure you can relate to it. I have got nothing against B schools and MBA schools, business schools, but I feel that they are the reason why, joint ventures and collaborations are made out to be such a big deal and not accessible to a solopreneur or an early stage entrepreneur. But the truth is, it could be as simple as you and I joining hands together and cross collaboration. That is a collaboration, that is a joint venture. So, again, I do a lot of uncomplication or simplification of joint ventures and collab step by step strategies. It's for some other day. But these are three strategies. And the fourth strategy is speaking from stages. Because the moment you get on stages, digital stages, physical stages, your own stage, other people's room, the moment you get on a stage of any kind, you are perceived as an authority. In fact, the very reason you have been called on stage is because you're good at something. Otherwise, you wouldn't be there on the first place.
Yeah.
And every time, whenever I have followed one of these strategies, there has always been a surge in the number of high quality leads that come in. And almost all my buyers, even I'm talking about high ticket clients, they end up saying, oh my God, I still remember that little workshop of yours which I had done. Oh, I'm so glad that, this so and so person connected me to you, which is again my joint venture partner. Most of my high ticket clients come from my joint ventures. Most of my surge in high ticket leads come from this strategy of getting on to the stages. So these are four strategies. Once again, give your best content away for free. Go beyond your lead magnet. Do it consistently. Do it with all your heart. Second is build your own tribe. Third is, of course, get into joint ventures and collaborations. And fourth is get onto the stages and be prepared to receive an avalanche of high quality leads. Of course, before you could do all this, you need to have a system to collect, to capture, and to nurture those leads. Otherwise, you have a leaky system. Don't go on a
Yeah.
stage with a leaky system. So I'm sorry,
Yeah.
that was a
Great.
long thing, but I couldn't contain myself
It's
from giving some
absolutely
of your opening
brilliant,
values.
brilliant advice. I think you captured it in a very succinct manner, but it comes with a lot of wisdom and experience. And I'm sure people who are listening in today can take that massive value today And I'm so glad that you're sharing this with all of us,
you.
which you share with all your premium clients. And for all the readers, the listeners, thank you so much for taking time out. We still have a few more minutes. If you have any questions for Rupa or for me, now's the time. Rupa is an international mentor who mentors entrepreneurs in a heart centered way. And my mission is creating high performance in entrepreneurs, executives, athletes, students to take your game to the next level, to become the top one percenter. So, Rupa, just to share along the lines, I remember to giving away for free. I had gone on some groups,
Hmm.
and I was especially on parenting, which is one of my strength, parent empowerment. And I started giving away advices to a lot of questions. Where then I had some time, I said, let me just answer this question on somebody else's group, and I just gave away a lot of advice, and I got two high quality leads from
There
that.
you go.
They were not even the persons who I answered, they were somebody else.
Yes.
And they reached out and we had high ticket deals through them. So
Beautiful.
that's what I think you brilliantly captured it as a lesson, as a formula for success and lead generation. I think that's brilliant. And thank you for sharing. Anytime lead machine, I like that.
Anytime lead
And
machine.
it's brilliant. And let me share again for those who may have tuned in a little late. This is Rupa Patil with a signature program. I've just shared our website and a 5 minute lead workshop where you'll get some more amazing stuff
Excellent.
in your. And Rupa, just continuing, uh, what is this Heart Leaders Club that you have created? Can you share something about it?
Thank you for asking. It's my favorite. I mean, all the topics that you are asked, all the questions that you're asking me are so close to my heart. Heart Leaders Club is probably the closest because that is literally the manifestation of that little dream that I had. Even when I just started out my business, and then I didn't even know that that was a dream, but that little intention, the way it grew. So I would say Heart Leaders Club is literally the elite minority. This is the top of my pyramid. These are incredible, highly successful, and highly driven, heart centered entrepreneurs, heart centered business leaders from all around the globe. These are the people who are 100% committed to not just their own success in terms of income and impact, but the beauty of this club is they are as committed in your success as they are committed in theirs. And this is always shown when we get together on a monthly mastermind, on a hot seat call, even when we get together in our private community, which is a closed door. So Heart Leaders Club is a closed door community. It is, by invite only, my inner circle, but essentially I am not the shining star there. Each one of us are, because I know this will again show is as an a mirror image, but here it says that I'll read it out. It says that you are so far ahead of so many other people, serve them. So, Heart Leaders Club is a community, is a closed door community of heart centered entrepreneurs who are way ahead. They are subject matter experts who are way ahead in their own domain. And the beauty is they are 100% committed to each other's success. So think of Heart Leaders Club as literally, a community with mastermind. So think of it as networking on steroids, networking and mentoring on steroids. I can't just say anything about our Heart Leaders Club. You need to come and experience it. And it's not
Brilliant.
one of those high ticket inner circle where you have to pay $1,000 at least per month. No, it is not one of those. I've purposely kept it as accessible as possible because, Captain, even the best of the entrepreneurs, even the best of the business owners, even of funded companies, they sometimes are not really open to get started with one-on-one mentoring. And
Mhm.
some of them who really want to get started, they do not have the financial resources. So, as a heart centered leader myself, I am determined not to leave anybody behind. And that
Hmm.
is my intention behind establishing the Heart Leaders Club. Today, we have people from Hungary, from South Africa, from Greece, from India, of course, from US, all part of Heart Leaders Club. And some of them are Amazon best-selling authors, CTOs of established companies, architects, coaches, scientists, doctors. It's a beautiful, beautiful community. You need to come and experience it. That's Heart Leaders Club. And once you go to my
Brilliant.
website, anybody who is watching and wondering what is Rupa talking about, well, go to my website. You'll see a beautiful logo of Heart Leaders Club. Click on that, and you will get more information.
Superb, superb. Brilliant, Rupa. And I think Rupa's more and more information is available in rupapatil.com, and you can know more about the amazing work that she's been doing, especially a 5 minute lead generation, which you're going to find there. And she's been sharing that right across this last, many minutes. And before we, wrap up and all that, any questions are there, then do post them on the group, and I would be happy to take it. And Rupa would be, happy to take those questions for you. And just to wrap up with the last couple of questions, Rupa, what is mastermind for you? What happens in mastermind? What does mastermind mean to you?
Okay. So again, my favorite. I literally there is one thing, before even I could answer that question, let me tell you that, recently I was interviewed. I don't know if it was one of the interviews that I shared it in or one of the masterminds, but I was asked this question: what is that you can't stop doing when it comes to work? And in a heartbeat, I answered saying that I can give up on everything else when it comes to my business, but I cannot stop organizing masterminds. I cannot stop hosting masterminds. So if I'm alive when I'm 80, 70, 90, 100, and if I can speak even a little bit, I will be doing masterminds. That is guaranteed. So, what is mastermind? Before telling you what is mastermind, let me tell you what is it is not. So, it is not one of those shiny object. It is not one of the new trending stuff. Mastermind is as old as almost 100 years today. And
Okay.
to give you the definition of mastermind, I need to share with you this beautiful story of Thomas Alva Edison. Yes, the person who invented the bulb. Thomas Alva Edison, and some of our favorite person is Henry Ford. I love Ford cars. So Henry Ford and Thomas Alva Edison. Yes, they seem like poles apart when I was thinking of the timelines. I always felt that Henry Ford was, closer to our lives than Edison, but they actually coexisted. And there was a time when, long before they could become famous, Thomas Alva Edison and Henry Ford used to meet each other on a regular basis to exchange notes, to help each other become, a better individual, a better professional, a better scientist. And this sounds so different, right? But very soon, the two people became four, and all four of them were known as Vagabond. That was the name of their mastermind group. And one thing that they did consistently is they consistently met up with each other, probably week on week or month on month. I don't have the records, but that is how consistently they connected with each other from four different perspectives, four different industries, helping each other. And I think that was the biggest learning they ever had. As a
Yeah.
result, we know what happened with Henry Ford, we know what happened with Thomas Alva Edison. All four of them became the who's who of America. And that is the power of mastermind. So, to make the long story short, think of mastermind as a community, two or more like minded individuals coming together in perfect harmony with a common purpose of helping each other grow and succeed without holding anything back. That is what
Yeah.
happens at our Heart Leaders Club. So, mastermind is as accessible to as it was to Thomas Alva Edison. And in today's age, if you feel that no, I can't relate to Henry Ford, no, I can't relate to Thomas Alva Edison, don't. Do you know who Richard Branson is? Do you know who Russell Brunson is? Do you know all these new names, new age people, new age leaders? They all have been associated with a mastermind group. And that is one of the best kept secrets of some of the best and successful leaders all around the world. So that is mastermind. But long story short, if you were to ask me how it is applicable to me as an entrepreneur or as a corporate leader, I'll say, well, walk into our masterminds, which is typically a virtual call like this, walk into our masterminds with one specific business or personal challenge, your here and now challenge. It could be something to do with sales and marketing, something to do with your team building, something to do with your fears, something to do with your, your next speaking gig. So walk in with one specific challenge and you are guaranteed to walk out of that meeting with multiple solutions, perspectives, directions. And all of this happens in 8 to 10 minutes. Can you imagine, Captain, the power? And I know Captain was one
Yeah.
of my special guests for one of my own business leaders masterminds. And on amazing masterminds like this, you will find amazing speakers like Captain himself coming in. So that is the power of mastermind. It is multiple, it is literally leveraging the group intelligence. It is mentoring and networking and community building on steroids. That
Super.
is masterminds, and you have to experience it. Experience it.
Brilliant.
Please do me a favor, experience a mastermind.
Brilliant. I think I really like that the way you captured it. Mastermind. Like you said, all of us are. I'm part of a mastermind group as well. There are three of us, different, a doctor, a financial consultant, and an IT professional. So we all brainstorm all the time, seeing how we can push each other, keep us
Mhm.
accountable, share ideas and things like that. I think it's brilliant. We are expanding, our group as well, little by little. But you've been doing this in a nice big way, and it's been doing wonderful. And I think that's brilliant to have this kind of masterminds is absolutely brilliant. And I'm going to share a form at this point to connect with us. There is this Google form in case you want to ask a question, connect with us, especially with me for high performance, or if you're an entrepreneur, executive, student, athlete who's looking to achieve your ambition. What I help is to get you to your goals faster, and with a mentor you can do it that much more easily.
So true.
And I think you captured that as well, Rupa, earlier, how much importance a mentor plays, because even a world champion, even an Olympian, sports star, tennis player, top of the game, has somebody to help them get there. And that's the power of mentor. You can do it by yourself, obviously, but you can do it that much more easier and faster with the help of a mentor or a coach. And Rupa has been sharing some awesome insights all through. She didn't leave any gaps where it was like, she's going to share or not. Right from the word go, she's been sharing some brilliant insights. And like her heart centered leadership, which has been a brilliant game changer for many people in our community. I'm going to share this link again about how you can get into her community and how you can be part of that 5 minute free lead generation workshop on a 5 minute leads. And that link is there. And if you're watching this, do grab that, do attend that free workshop. You'll be blown by more amazing tactics and strategies that Rupa has got to share.
Thank you.
So before we close, Rupa, anything you have to say, final thoughts before, we wrap up with comments?
I will share a controversial thought if it is
Yep,
okay.
please do.
Especially because now I'm speaking specifically to the entrepreneurs and to the business owners and the CEOs and the CTOs and the CMOs of businesses all around the globe. I think the world today needs more generosity, needs more kindness, needs more human, altruist human beings leading businesses, leading countries, leading communities. So whatever role you're playing, however big or small your company is, however big or small your business is, I invite you to be that heart centered leader, be that altruist, be that human centric, high on humanity, high on kindness. And it's much, much, much easier, to do. It may sound complex, but it's actually easier to do. And the number one hack to become a heart centered leader is to serve. SERVE, serve. Serve others without holding anything back. And suddenly, again, Captain, I was not prepared for this one specific, but I would like to share a poem, and I hope I remember it. It is by Hafiz, the Sufi poet. And of course, the poem is not in English because it is by Hafiz, but the translation, the loose translation of it goes something like this: Zero. Zero is where the fun begins. There is too much counting everywhere else. I may have said it wrong, but this is what the crux is. Zero. Empty your heart when you're serving, when you are giving, when you are helping someone. Contrary to what's been told to you, that, keep something for yourself and then give. First consume, and then whatever is remaining is what you can give. When you're giving, give the poor quality. When you're giving, give the second hand stuff. I invite you to do the exact opposite. Give, serve until you come back to zero, because there is too much counting happening everywhere else. And I guarantee by doing this, it may sound counterintuitive, but this is where you are going to stand out. This is where you are going to leave a legacy, leave a mark, not just on your company, not just on your employees, not just on your community, not just on your country. If you are you know, a leader of a country, being this way, you are going to create ripple effects which are going to last, and positive ripple effects which are going to last 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, 100 years after you are gone. And there are so many leaders who have done that in past, and we remember them fondly even 100 years later. So it is much simpler to do that, and the simplest hack, as I said, is serve. Do not be afraid to give your best to the person whom
Yeah.
you're serving or to the community that you're leading. So I invite you to be that heart centered leader. Hashtag heart leader.
Super, super, brilliantly captured. Again, amazing, Rupa. I mean, it reminds me of a task that I share in the Three Culprits book called the Bravery Task, which is all about serving beyond, not thinking about ourselves, just
Oh, beautiful.
serving. And I'm going to share that link now. It's available on Amazon, but I'm sharing this link. It's called Three Culprits: Laziness, Fear, and Doubt. For those of you who are looking at especially overcoming procrastination, fear, there are some amazing tasks that I've used on myself and my clients, and it has worked brilliantly. And this book is going to give you massive insights into yourself. So I hope you keep this by your bedside. It's something that you can read little by little, day by day, and it can be a game changer for you. And most importantly, thank you to all the readers, all the viewers and listeners who've been here taking time out. Hope you watch this session again in the record. It's going to be on the platform. Do follow, do share, do give a like if you enjoyed this amazing session. And I would be seeing you in another one. And mostly, thank you, Rupa, for taking time out and being here. It was wonderful having you here and getting all these insights from you.
It's an honor and privilege to be here with you, Captain. Thank you very much for inviting me, and a lot of love to all the listeners and wish you all the very best. Remember, you are way ahead of so many other people. All you need to do is find them and serve them. Thank you very much, Captain, once
Absolutely.
again, and wish
Thank you
everyone
so
the
much.
best.
Thank you. Bye bye. Have a good evening.